Hi, this is Angela Johnson with the Virtual Reiki Clinic and Grace Healing Group, and I am doing a reading for our healers for the week of May 16th. As usual, I pulled 3 cards, taking a look at what needs to be healed, or what's coming up to be healed this week, what does not need to be touched this week, and what the next right steps are. So, given that this reading is slanted for you in your healer mode, let's take a look at these cards. So what's interesting, our first card is the 7 of Swords, right side up in the what is coming up to be healed this week. And what's interesting is I don't normally use this deck for public readings, or I haven't in the past, and I felt really drawn to use it this week. And it's interesting because the translation of this card is a little bit different than in traditional decks. In traditional decks, this is the card about sneaking around behind people's backs, sort of doing short-term solutions for long-term problems. You know, what you're doing now may feel good now, but it's going to bite you in the butt later on. They have a different take on this card. It's more positive. It's all about thinking outside of the box, coming at this. The word that keeps coming to mind is maverick, really thinking about this in an unconventional way, and it's seen as a positive. So we have that in what is coming up to be healed. And, you know, we're thinking of you in terms of a healer, even though as healers, we are dealing sort of with an unconventional, you know, Harry, babe, they've been asleep all morning. No. So even though as energy healers, we sort of live in the unconventional, even we can come up with these dogmatic beliefs of, well, that's not what I do. Well, that's not how it's done. And this week, what's coming up to be healed is kind of expanding ourselves, and also not pigeonholing other people, not being prejudiced against their ways of doing things, but maybe looking at, can we actually, if not integrate it, learn from it, expand from it, and even if we ultimately not reject it, but, you know, don't follow it, can it add nuance to our own, or depth to our own database of knowledge that we draw from? All right? So that's what's coming up to be healed, is this sense of being more of a maverick, expanding on the how it's done type of mentality. What does not need to be touched, what you do not as healers need to heal this week. 4 of Pentacles. Now, take a look at that guy. That is not a man who, oh, it won't focus. Take my word for it. He's not someone who's looking like he's open to change. You know, he's not. So with the 4 of Pentacles, what you have is someone who is holding on for their life, for all it's worth, something of value to them. Typically it's money, but it can also be a credo or just a way of being. Something of value is being held close to the chest and it's not being shared. So, and it's an interesting juxtaposition to the 7 of Swords. And we have the 4 of Pentacles in the what needs to be just live and let live, right? You stay in your lane. It doesn't need to be healed this week. Don't try to sway other people. As you start to expand your mind and start to think, you know, maybe this is a way to go, or maybe it's just time to re-examine our sacred cows. Don't worry about converting everybody else right now, or at all. Just let this be internal work. Let this be something you go through. You don't have to proselytize any new findings or thoughts. Just live and let live. This is not a man this is a man who sort of is coming from fear, right? Sometimes you just gotta let that be. Bless them. You get it. They're afraid. Work on just expanding yourself this week. Now the next right step we have the Knight of Cups. This is the dreamer of the card, of the deck, right? He's in love with love. In a negative sense, it's some kind of a player, or very flighty, unrealistic. But we have him right side up. And I think he came forward to balance out the rough edges of the Seven of Swords. So as we're working on expanding our perspective on things and our take, and perhaps as healers, how we approach working with clients, the Knight of Cups is there to soften the message, to make it more palatable, especially if you're going to try out new stuff this week. He knows how to read the room, right? And he's so authentic, and he may be proven wrong, but he's never coming from a place of duplicity, or he's always authentic. So even if what you're ultimately exploring this week, ultimately it isn't what you embrace, this sort of Knight of Cups, he's of service. If you just sort of use that to as how you deliver it, you're there to be of service, you're expressing love, and you just want to try something new. Let's see what happens. That gentle Knight of Cups is always offering, coming forward with an offer, right? And it also can imply that there's going to be some opportunities this week to use your new sort of inspiration, maverick type thinking. But just use that Knight of Cups to gentle the message, to gentle your energy as you work with others. And I think it'll go over smooth, or more smoothly. All right, everyone. That is your reading for the week of May 16th. As always, thank you for the work that you do for the clinic. You are so appreciated. And I know the nurses, I don't know what they would do without you. So you are wonderful, and we appreciate you. And if you stumbled across this video and you have no idea what I'm talking about, we are the Virtual Reiki Clinic. We provide remote healing to frontline nurses. We started off in the pandemic, and we're still going strong. And we are always looking to expand our ranks. So if this is of interest to you, please reach out. We would love to talk. Again, that's the Virtual Reiki Clinic. All right, have a wonderful week. Thank you for all that you do.